if we do the right things at the right time for the right reasons, we can be a great nation. The ultimate goal is a robust and efficient statistical system that produces good quality, reliable, and timely statistics. I thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Yemi Kale, for breaking down this thing called rebasing. Especially for those of us who are no economists or statisticians, we now understand better. I think it deserves a second round of applause. Yeah, thank you. We will now take a few comments. And the first comment will be coming from a member of the independent review panel, and president of Nigeria Economic Society, Professor Olu Ajakaye. Prof, sir.
Well, Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinator of Economy, the Minister of National Planning, Minister of Health, other Minister of Information, very important, because this is your constituency. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Acting Governor of Central Bank, the Deputy Governors present from Central Bank, all other protocol respectfully observed, please. But I'm not good at protocol, so kindly forgive me. Like has been mentioned, I have been privileged to review the initial estimates that you have just been exposed to. And I've also had the privilege of being part of the team that did the 1990 rebasing. So I have the singular honor of knowing what happened and knowing what has happened. And I can confirm to you that what has happened in this process is top of the line. The idea is that we are at the frontier. So I would like to therefore join all of us in congratulating the Secretary General of the Federation and his staff for actually putting our Nigerian statistical system on the frontier. And that is because data, as you know, by definition, is factual information that should be used responsibly as a basis for reasoning, for discussion, for decision-making, and for calculations. And the ESG has just told you the kinds of audiences that will be needing factual information about the economy for their own discussions, for their own calculations, and for their own decisions. And since, like I said earlier, this is top of the line, one can only be sure that in the Nigerian context, where improvement in the statistical, information system that we have been having since, the last few years, has actually made it possible for the development process to be less blind. If you are using wrong data, your development process is blind. You don't know what's happening actually. You are just closing your eyes. And also, the policymakers will also not be able to actually appreciate the achievements they've made and the areas that they need to pay more attention. At the same time, the public, and that's your good selves, will also maybe making wrong judgments about the degree to which your servants, that is your government, is actually serving you. So when you have good data, therefore, you have a properly illuminated, environment, and policymakers will appreciate what they are doing, also realize the areas of challenges and direct attention appropriately, and you also be able to contribute to the process by actually knowing what we are talking about. So this exercise, from what I've seen, has been very, very comprehensive. It is very, very comprehensive, and as you see, because it is comprehensive, the new sectors that were not there in the 1990s that possibly had started showing up at the beginning of this century, but because we didn't actually do any rebasing at that time, because ideally, the latest time we should have done it was 2000. If we did it in 2000, like the SG said, there would have been no need for this quantum leap in the data. You see? But because we did it 2 decades late, many things have happened. But I'm happy that at least we are able to capture what has happened. The resulting benchmark, one of the areas that I think you should also pay attention to is the fact that it's not just rebasing, which is changing the base here, but also capturing the new structure of the economy in the context of articulating new benchmarks. These new benchmarks actually reflect the depth, you see, the structure, as well as the size, the spread of activities in the economy, so that the ratios that are being used now to compute the national accounts between 2010 and now, they are more appropriate reflection of what's going on in the Nigerian economy. So I think that is another kudos to the NBS and our development partners that work with them in producing this. And the SGS has indicated to you the new sectors. And as you can see from the chart he showed, the new sectors are the fastest growing actually. But please don't get it wrong. Fastest growing does not mean very big. See, growth is not the same as size. So please, the new sectors that have been indicated, because when you see the full data in the Q&A, and if you go to the website and you see it, don't expect the movie industry, the arts industry to then be very large in size. What you should take away from what he's saying is that this is new and it is growing very fast. All right? So please don't get confused. Like I said earlier, we have analyzed, as users of the data and checked to be sure that the data is internally consistent. We don't have different stories coming from, production account and the expenditure account. We find everything working in the same direction. Of course, like the SG himself said, the process of refinement continues. There will be need to look at a few more details somewhere, but whatever the details we examine, they will not change the order of magnitude very significantly. Also, we notice that the structure of the economy is changing. That one we can say. Now, whether services sector account for 50% of the economy, which is saying that Nigeria has actually leapfrogged from the normal, if you like, sequential process of moving from, primary production into secondary production, now into services. Because moving from, agriculture, that was 33% of GDP, now to 23%, and then instead of moving to industry, to become like 50%, and then the rest services or something in that direction, we now see that services just suddenly leapfrog into 50% of the economy. There are economies in the world that have done that. So what the SG is saying is therefore not out of this world. We have countries that have actually skipped the secondary activity phase. What we should hope, and I actually trust our planners, our managers, the CME and the Honorable Minister of Planning, to therefore do is that, yes, we have leapfrogged, but we should try and make sure that we scale up the secondary activities, the manufacturing sector should go up significantly. It is actually up in this context. The SG did not emphasize that. It used to be, as at 2010, under the old, the manufacturing sector was accounting for less than 2%, 3% of GDP. But in the new one that we have now, the share of manufacturing in total GDP is now about 7%. It is still low, no question about that. But what is showing is that it is already moving in the direction that we all like to see. Because the Vision 2020 document expects that by the time we become the 20th largest economy, manufacturing sector will be about 20% of the economy. So we should therefore see that, as like I mentioned earlier, when statistics come out very clearly, it then tells policymakers areas of achievement and what is left